So the NCAA has recently made it okay for college basketball players or college athletes, rather, not just basketball, to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. Until relatively recently, college players did not get paid from the schools, and they were not able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness because doing so would cause them to forfeit their amateur status, meaning they could no longer compete on a collegiate level. So there have been instances like Reggie Bush being stripped of his Heisman because he received gifts like cash, a car, and I believe a house. And there have been other instances where players like Chris Webber have had to forfeit a lot of their college accolades because of things that they received from coaches, recruiters, the school, boosters, etc. I would like to know what do you guys think of the idea of college players not getting paid by the school or not being able to accept money because it would make them forfeit their amateur status? And what do you think about them now being able to do so?
So, in the past, who made money off of like video games and things like that for using their likeness?
The school and the people who made the...
So they made a deal specifically.
But what they would do is that they wouldn't put the name of the player on the game. It would just say like Duke forward number such and such, and it would kind of look like them.
Have like a
and like
pixelated
Carmelo
picture.
Anthony was on the cover of an NCAA game, but you know.
So now
It wasn't Carmelo in the game.
Are they just getting a slice? Like, what's their thing? Like, they can do their own advertisements and get paid, and they can take, like, whenever you get that house, was that like a bribe to be on a team, or like what was?
More or less, it was okay, like, so hey, you come here and we'll take care of you.
Can they be incentivized? You know, it sounded like the pool was already dirty a little. Like
very dirty.
Like you had two sides, like. You know, basically just paying each other while restricting one.
A cesspool, bro. It's like waiting in the sewer.
So I think that some people are going to say, you're taking the integrity of the game. It's like, fuck you. It was already set up that way.
Yeah.
You just basically, it was like...
Definitely. There was just people that got caught and people that didn't get caught. Yeah. A bunch of people that probably did get caught, you know.
A bunch.
A bunch, bro. Like a ton.
You don't think they changed some grades? And they don't think they changed... You know, come on.
Exactly.
Come the fuck on. Like, I don't know. That's wild.
Or give kids scholarships to go to very specific schools.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
I think get your money. It's fine. I think that honestly, hopefully it would change the, like, do you think that hopefully it would normalize the schools actually paying a little more than just their tuition, I think, to get them.
I think it's crazy that schools have made so much money off these athletes.
Yeah, now they can spread that. Now they can
able to, like, you know.
Stupid money. Like there's a Longhorn television network.
Okay, so then they need to spread that money back to the future athletes in their fucking communities they came from.
Actually,
you know, like specifically. I think
billions of dollars are made. Yeah. Billions of dollars are made on college athletics.
I just want to know,
like television.
Yeah.
You know, like, think about college football. Think about what college football is.
Yeah, no, right. It's, like, completely monetized.
It is so monetized. And y'all don't pay the players? Now, the excuse that I've always heard is, if we pay the players, don't we got to pay the band? We got to pay the cheerleaders. Got to pay all the athletes.
If there's that much fucking money and they have bills and all and their times, like, I still think it's important to pay somebody something for their time in a different situation. You know, like, especially because it's just like, I don't know. You think
that's what the scholarship is for?
Well, but how much is every scholarship equal? Like, okay, so are they all the same? Do you get the same for every player, for, you know, cheerleader, for, like, there's probably different levels of it, right? Like, I would still say there should be some money. I don't know the numbers of how much they make for their sports team, like at the events, at the whatever Cobra Kai motherfucker. Yeah. All right, that was a.
Did you see that
super trash.
that South Park episode?
Well, I mean,
About
how much?
the
I don't know what they're
NCAA
taking in
and-
compared to what they're giving. To me, if it's
Crack baby basketball. Yeah.
but to me, it sounds like they're probably fucking paying out very little into tuition in that specifically to hold down, to basically like make all the money on being the ones to obviously get them first, and then just profit off of that just because this is the institution that they'll be discovered through. Mm-hmm. But like they're giving less than probably 10% back to those to those players or the communities in which they live in, their families and stuff. So I just think it's like, I don't know. I think it should be normalized that they definitely like pay more than just tuitions and all that for everybody involved. I think, depending on where they go. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe not the concessions.
What you got, J.Carr?
I think it's good that they're paying them now. But I feel like I don't know why they said that. Like they couldn't pay the cheerleaders in the band. like they wasn't a possibility.
Speak on that. That's a good point. I literally was one of those people. I was like, oh, you can't pay them.
Like, how could you not? Like y'all got so much bread, bro.
Yeah, so much. It's like I'm telling you, they're probably paying less than 5% on the tuition that they're getting. Like, if you're saying billions of dollars, like what's a tuition per year to any of these schools? Like 50 grand, 100. Like, what's the average? Like, and how many players?
Administrative costs and like upkeep and shit like that. Now, I'm not saying that these things justify not paying motherfuckers that work in service of your school, right? But I believe that their standpoint is, motherfucker, you want an allowance? I allow you to go here. I allow you to live here. And athletes do get they get like an allowance. If you're like on an athletic scholarship or like a band scholarship and so on and so forth, there are like scholarships and like allowances that are given to the players in addition to things like financial aid, so on and so forth, to where you going to school is not necessarily a big expense for you. Living and eating things other than like
so they pay you
peanut butter sandwiches and ramen noodles. They don't pay you. They give you like part of your scholarship is that you get like
food?
An allowance.
They're fucking shit.
No, I'm not saying that they pay you in food, right? I'm saying like if you play for like the Longhorns, you might have your tuition paid for. You have like certain things that you have to keep up with. Like you got to maintain your spot on the team. You got to maintain a certain grade point average. But in addition to you being able to go to the school and play for this team, we're also going to give you like $1,000 a month. And like you'll be able to live on campus. Like shit like that. Do you feel what I'm saying?
I feel you. Hopefully there should be more collective bargaining so that you can get that number raised to more than $1,000. $12,000.
I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that the thing that was unreasonable for all of this time was that no one was able to make money off of their name, image, and likeness.
That's really weird.
That is un-American. Yeah. Like their little Tay makes videos on YouTube fucking talking shit to adults from a crib that she doesn't own in a car that she cannot drive and also doesn't own. And she makes money off of that. Now, I'm not saying she's the problem. I'm saying we live in America where everybody is supposed to be able to cake off of whatever the fuck you can sell. You're telling me I can't sell a jersey that I played in when I played in it. I played. It was me.
And also,
Exactly.
I don't even know why.
That's crazy, bro.
And I can't sell a jersey? That's stupid.
But y'all are selling my jersey, making money off of me.
Bingo. Yes.
Yeah, it's just wild that they force you to go to college.
I can't accept a deal from like a local car lot that says, hey, we'll give you fucking $10,000 to do this commercial for our car lot that only airs here. Or I'll give you a car to do this commercial. They can't accept cars until relatively recently, because they were not allowed to profit off of their name, image, or likeness until just now.
How'd that change?
Vote.
From the board?
Can you pull up the story? NCAA NIL.
I remember I seen part of it on a little bit on I guess LeBron's show. They were signing something.
So LeBron didn't go to
Happens
college
in
because
life.
LeBron was like, fuck all this shit. I'm going to allow you to make money off of me. I'm going right out of the league. And then the NBA strangely put up this rule saying you can't come out of high school. Why? Because the NCAA was complaining that they were missing out on the best athletes if they were going from high school to the league. What has happened recently, shout out to LeVar Ball, he said, fuck all this. We're going overseas. We're going overseas.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all. Big baller brand.
Get paid
Big
something.
baller league. This is where we're playing. We're playing over here. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
He
Suck
really
a
said
dick.
that.
LeVar Ball is a G, bro. Motherfuckers hate on him, but I'll go as far as to say conspiracy hat. I'll put my conspiracy hat on. The NCAA is trying to defame people like LeVar Ball because he exposes them for how shitty they are. He got his sons paid, and he has 2 out of 3 sons in the league, and I bet you LiAngelo's going to end up on a team somewhere, sometime.
He said he
Soon.
was the best scorer out of both of them.
I don't know if it will apply at an NBA level. I think that with Lonzo and LaMelo, they are more talented players, and so that their style of play translated more easily to the league, even if they are not these amazing scorers. Like, you notice Lonzo had to improve his shot. LaMelo also had to improve his shot. Lonzo plays defense. LaMelo is just incredibly gifted. Like,
Just all around, just a great
offensive player. He's not
Yeah.
much of a defender. And Lonzo has gotten better and better as an offensive player. What I'm ultimately saying is, instead of him sending his kids to like college, Lonzo went to college, LiAngelo went a little bit and then didn't. And LaMelo did not. Yet 2 of them are in the league. It's probably going to be 3 of them.
Yep.
Probably. The NCAA is sweating in their shit because people are realizing, wait, I can just go to the G League. Wait, I can just go overseas. Wait, I could. So now with the NCAA, this is my conspiracy hat. The hat is still on. Conspiracy hat. This is my conspiracy. The NCAA is trying to find a way to get top prospects as much money as possible while showing them a really good time for like a year and not having to come out of their own pockets.
Devin Booker's going off.
Yeah, dude. Devin Booker has been like kind of trash for like the last, I want to say 2 games. He hasn't been playing very well. But he's getting buckets right now. 63-58 with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third. Phoenix is up. But you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you think?
I think it sounds like the taxi cab companies, where they basically would limit how many cars and how many you have to go through them.
What's that shit, like the Jewel or the fucking, what's that shit that you have to get to be a taxi driver that's like hella
it's
expensive?
a certification, but they limited the amount of people to the point where like people in Austin specifically, like people fucking waste. There's not enough taxi cabs to take everybody home safely.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Do taxis still exist in Austin? Can you call a taxi?
What's the point if
they-
Uber
you can just
exists?
Uber.
Yeah.
They do, but
Which
they
sucks. 'cause
basically
don't like those medallions cost like a
Medallions. This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. These medallions are expensive. Can you explain what a taxi medallion is?
It's
Pull
like,
it, or go ahead. Do it. Do it.
Well, what I know of it, I know in New York, it's like upwards of like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's basically like a license to be able to be a taxi driver. And somehow Uber like circumvents this law,
Because it's like donation based, or like it's if they ever get pulled over, it's like they're just. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, right. And
Where
there's
it's
like
not really like a. But that's like, but you force something like that to happen if you only go through college, and I really like that dude just stretched that. It was like, nah, we're going overseas, but then his kids are going to be in the league, so they're gonna have to actually like, they have to kind of. Now reckon
You just
with, now
have to
reckon
be
with that
1 year
decision.
removed from high school. Those are the rules. You have to be 1 year removed
In
from
order
high
to
school
go to
in
so-
order to qualify for the draft.
So why not just make? I wonder what they're making overseas. They're probably making a couple.
There are countries where you can really get paid, and there are others where you can't really get paid. But different leagues in different countries are more
It
competitive.
just sounds like they need to start making. I like the idea of being able to
And if you're trying to get to the
you're not able
NBA,
to compete, or collectively bargain. I hate that. So I think that being able to now have to compete or to have to make it more fun than like keeping a certain grade point average and going through this one thing without getting paid any real money. When you could go somewhere else and make $100,000 or something. Yeah. And I don't know what they're making wherever, but I bet it's fucking way better than just like getting a food voucher or whatever at your fucking local college and having to actually keep a grade point average while trying to learn on a ball and stuff.
hard.
Like
Nah,
what the
I feel
fuck?
you.
It sounds like a shitty fucking option. I mean, and honestly, while college probably should fucking be free anyway. So I don't know. That's my.
That's a whole other.
Everything's gonna change.
We'll
so
do
fast.
that. We'll do that one day. We'll do that one day soon. Talk about the ills of society. That's deep though.
Things are changing.
We'll wait until the
You'll have
finals
to.
are over, and then we'll get into the hard shit.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on name, image, likeness in college sports?
I just think it's a good idea that they doing this.
Word.
Finally doing this.
Hey, yo, Jake, what you got on that taxi medallion?
Well, what I got is like in New York apparently it goes up to $1 million just to have a taxi.
Yeah.
And it's a license to be able to operate a taxi business. But somehow Uber doesn't have to do that because they don't own any of the cars and none of the employees are technically employees. They're partners
contractors.
or something. Yeah, contractors. So they don't have to do it. They don't have to have one.
That's interesting. There's always ways to skirt the law. Is the fucking moral of the story.
But if you're holding back any competition that long, they'll figure it out too. So I like
Facts.
that people like what's that dude's name that went overseas? You were talking about?
LeVar Ball.
Yeah, like that. I love those
The innovators, bro.
Yeah.
There's what
Changing-
is it? There
changing
are
entire
people who
timelines.
conform. There are people who drop out of society. There are people who innovate, and there are people who. There's a fourth one, but I can't remember. Can you look that up? Conform, innovate. One is like drop out or reject, and then I can't remember the other. But there's like 4 segments of or types of people when it comes to segments of society. You either do one of those 4 things. But while Jake is looking that up, I want to bring it to the Olympics. The Olympics is something else where you do not get paid for competing and for participating as an Olympic athlete. But the Olympics does not keep you from making money off of your name and image or likeness, and never has. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think that the Olympics should have to pay athletes, or do you think it is a privilege just to compete in the Olympics?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know if I know enough about the Olympics to. I think it's a.
It is weird because it is a contest, so.
It is a contest.
And I guess they are able to they're making a shitload of money from endorsements and
Ton.
sponsors and stuff.
Everybody watches the Olympics around the
Right.
fucking world.
Yeah, it's
Like, think about it. You watch things during Olympic season that you don't actually watch.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Super Bowl, right? Like you.
Like, I don't fucking watch curling, but go USA. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got those 4 types of people.
What are they?
They're obligers, upholders, questioners, and rebels.
Obligers, upholders, questioners, and rebels. Does it give definitions? What is an obliger? Or can you give each one of those definitions, please?
Yeah. So obligers are the biggest category. Obligers meet outer expectations but don't always meet inner ones. They usually need some form of external accountability. Rebels resist both inner and outer expectations. If you ask a rebel to do something, they likely will resist. Upholders are generally meet both inner and outer expectations, meaning they don't let others or let themselves down. Questioners meet inner expectations. They'll only do something if it makes sense to them.
Okay. So those are like the 4 types of people when it comes to like societal expectations or stimuli, I guess. Whenever you're met with something in a societal sense, you're probably going to be one of those 4 people, or maybe a mixture of them to like varying percentages, regardless of what the system is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. How y'all feel about that? What do you think? Do you think that is a pretty good summation of what society is?
I don't know. I have a problem with like
Categorization?
yeah, like Myers-Briggs, and I think that's like overly simplistic to think that you
Speak
can
on it, bro.
categorize.
Go ahead. Like, why?
I think like, you know, like the human being, like people's minds and stuff is like way more complex than we can even comprehend. So to try to like put them into specific categories that you lay out is like being. The funny thing is Myers-Briggs based it off a study that Carl Jung was doing, who was like one of the fathers of like, you know, like Freud. Freud went with Freudian psychology, and Jung went his other way. But like he just used it as a thought experiment to explain like different types of archetypes, but also said that like every person's like an exception to the rule because like everybody's unique.
Yeah.
But also it does kind of, I feel like if you think like if you just thought about like
Broad stroke it.
yeah, broad stroke, it does kind of make sense, you know. So I don't know.
I definitely agree that there are always exceptions to every rule because nothing is absolute. But I also think that people make efforts to view themselves as more unique than it's even called for. I think a lot of times people will come across definitions that they aren't comfortable with and be like, man, I don't do that though. I be doing some other shit. And while they might actually be doing some other shit, that doesn't mean that they're not also doing one of those like definitions. And I'm not saying that those definitions are all encompassing, but I think that in an effort to prove that we exist, we write our names in wet cement. And I think that us writing our names in wet cement is akin to trying to find the difference between us and the categories that we don't want to be defined by. If that makes any sense.
I think that was a good point.
Word. I'm trying to pause on moving on because Ev has not gotten back yet. But let's just get right into it. Olympics and paying athletes. They don't pay the athletes, but they don't stop you from making more money on your own. Even though the athletes that are in the Olympics are not necessarily professional, why is it that an Olympic athlete getting an endorsement is not a bad thing in the same way that a college football player selling their jersey is?
Want some hummus?
Oh, I never had that before.
Hummus is basically bean dip. Does this make sense?
Y'all can eat that. I'm good.
So,
Appreciate
like,
it anyway, though.
Do you know how hummus is?
It is bean dip, yeah.
Do you know how hummus is?
You just said it's bean dip.
It's bean dip.
Yeah.
But it's like lentils.
It's like
It's
garbanzo
not
beans.
just
Oh,
it's
I mean
garbanzo beans.
Sorry, why did I say lentils?
So like garbanzo beans, it's just like a white bean. So like you know how like a pinto bean is like a brown bean. There's black beans. There are kidney beans. Those are red. There are different colors of beans. Garbanzo beans is just a white bean, and you can make a dip out of it that just goes good with a lot of things. It's good on sandwiches. It's good to dip stuff
Middle
in.
Eastern.
It's Middle Eastern. It's
I mean,
you could
I ain't
try it.
never-
You should try it.
I mean,
You should try it.
I can't dip a bell pepper in no dip,
Check
bro.
this out.
Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Right, that one right there.
Can't-
That's a little one.
That's
It's
what
a
we're
little
getting.
one. That's a little
I can't do that, bro.
It's a little one.
I just can't.
You gotta.
I just can't, bro.
It's not hot.
It's not hot. It's cold. I know.
Scared of.
It's nothing to be scared of. I just don't want to
It's a
eat
little
that.
one.
I appreciate your influence, D-Dot, but I've had enough. Bro. I'm gonna try it someday. Today is not gonna be the day, bro. I'm focused on
Today
this.
is not the day.
I'm focused on this game. I don't want any bad luck stuff going on.
Damn. Bad luck hummus.
Bad luck bell pepper hummus, bro.
But I will say this.
This man Devin Booker got 32 points. From 13 to 20 shooting.
Yeah, bro. He's finally back. Hopefully it stays this way. They need him to be at his
Rick
top.
Barry, there go your boy Rick Barry.
Rick Barry.
Julius
Yeah,
Erving,
Julius
let's go. Legends, bro.
Not the
Legends.
Fight. Not the fight. Yo, y'all, did you see that article I had about like Shaq said I'd rather fucking shoot 0% than
Yeah.
shoot underhanded. You saw this
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
This is what I was talking about. Rick Barry
Yeah.
used to shoot granny shots.
Yeah.
And I think Ben Simmons used to do the same.